first came to this facility, my muscles were so deteriorated that I could not even sit up in bed. I could do nothing. But since I've been working on the Nautilus machines, I can now walk without assistance up to 350 feet. When I come off that machine, and I've increased my press weight 7 or 8 pounds in one day, it gives me a lot of self-confidence.
Has this machine helped you? Has using the strength loading equipment helped you?
Well, I'll tell you, when I first came to this facility, my muscles were so deteriorated that I could not even sit up in bed. I could do nothing. And they started working with me in the therapy. And I've been doing it for 4 months. The first 2 months, I got to where I could walk with a walker to a short distance, probably from the length of this room. But since I've been working on the Nautilus machines, I can now walk without assistance up to 350 feet.
And do you find you're getting stronger each session?
Just in the last day, I progressed from 133 pounds to 150 pounds doing 36 reps in repetition.
So that's 3 sets of 12 repetitions?
3 sets of 12 at 150 pounds.
Jonathan, I have a question that my curiosity draws out of me. How did you do this when you didn't have the equipment? If you had to do the same thing, or you want to do the same thing, or you want to help him get his back stronger, or any other question, their neck, what would you do without the equipment to make that occur?
Well, actually, in his case, we received the machines about halfway through his course of therapy. And we reached an impasse wherein his ability to participate in things like gait training had exceeded his leg strength. And our ability to increase that strength has reached the point of the traditional methods that we had available, like your ankle weights, your leg weights, your free weights, your TheraBand. And when the machines arrived, it gave me an option to gradually increase his ability to approach his actual weight and do it in a place where it's safe, wherein normally there was no jump between being able to do standing balance and gait training from a point where he was too weak to actually still stand, completely safe. So it was very beneficial, and as you can see, we were able to rapidly bring him to a point. When we were starting, we actually had to wheel him in a wheelchair to the machines, and presently he's walking from his room to the workout and from the workout back to his room.
That brings up an important point. I had never thought of this before. Someone's too weak to walk, but they're too strong to benefit from a few pound cuff weight. What do you do? So that's a great thing. The equipment has helped bridge the distance between I'm too weak to walk, but a 1 pound cuff weight's not going to solve my problem. So what do? I come to an exercise machine that lets me use 150 pounds now?
Yep.
And how high do you expect to go? How much resistance do you expect Mr. Bernard's going to lift on that machine?
Well, ideally it would be nice for him to be able to lift his weight. So we're shooting for a minimum of 200 pounds.
200 pounds. Now, that's very interesting. How would you get 200 pounds of resistance for Mr. Bernard if you didn't have these machines? What would you do?
Well, simply we couldn't. Because if we had to be able to stand him for him to, to provide his weight resistance. And since we couldn't do that safely, we didn't have the option just then, not till the machines arrived.
So the big point is that when you have range control, postural support, and resistance control provided automatically and objectively by the equipment, it makes your job easier and helps you accomplish your patient's goals.
Yeah. Plus, we could really isolate, because when you had the traditional way, if for him to carry his own weight would to stand him up, but you waste a lot of the energy just getting him to stand up. But this way, because he's in the machine, he doesn't have to expend that extra energy. All we have to do is give him the exercise, and if he ever wanted to rest, all he had to do was stop.
So the equipment becomes less demanding, safer, and more effective.
You get much more effective workout.
And am I correct in hearing that it also becomes safer and less demanding?
Yes.
That's an awesome idea. Thanks very much.
Marsha is the administrator of this beautiful facility and responsible for all the patients and caregivers and everyone who's involved. Can you just tell us, in a nutshell, how has this impacted your programs and your facilities?
Oh, having this program here in the facility has impacted us very positively. And it's reached a number of different people, our residents and our patients right now. First, if you look at the equipment, it's very attractive, it's very sophisticated, and I think that gives a really positive message to our patients, most of who are seniors, that this is nice equipment. I must be worthwhile if they're having this equipment available for me to use. It's equipment that we would find if we went to a pretty upscale fitness center. So it's very positive and an esteem builder for our residents. Our staff was very excited about being trained on the equipment. It's a new supply for them to use, and it's kind of a feather in their cap that, oh, the building thinks enough of me to have this equipment and train me for it. And they've been able to use it now for a while with the residents and see improvement with the residents. And different improvements, a little bit faster recovery for some than patients who are on a more traditional program. So that's very rewarding to the staff to see their residents improve. And in the near future, we're looking forward to expanding our program out into the senior community, inviting them to come in, use the equipment to either keep them at the level that they're functioning at now or set their goals for improving their levels of functioning. So we're just very pleased to be a part of this program and here for our patients.